Well, hello, boys and girls.
Hi.
What a wonderful day it is today in our money-based economy. Well, sit back and relax and get ready for the guy who's about to ruin everything.
I'm puzzled. Are you really seriously suggesting that Jesus Christ was a mushroom?
Wayne, Jesus was a mushroom Roberts.
Yes. You are dealing with a secret cult, a secret society.
Welcome to Waning Interest.
Oh boy, here we go. Number 2, if I can say that. Welcome to the Waning Interest Podcast. I'm Wayne Roberts. I've done a little bit of everything. Comedian, radio guy, mostly voice guy, actor, but just all around silly hack douchebag. And I'm fine with that. And I'm going to try to stay that way. That was Joe Cruz you heard in the open. CruzVO.com, CRUISE. Link will be in the description. Joe also helped me with the logo, because he's a stud that way. Can't do all this by myself. Shouldn't do all this by myself. And I'm going to fucking prove that right now. Some of you, this might be the first show that you're hearing. I'm just getting this off the ground, but I'm doing 3 shows a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Monday show, the Monday hour, and the Friday hour are Patreon only. Patreon.com/waning interest. Waning with the Y, as you can probably see or notice, or I don't know, another synonym. And I don't want to, man. Well, you don't have to be like that. Well, I'm in a mood. Fine. Okay. Can we move on? Yes. All right. If you're new to the program, that was a little weird. And that's how it always will be. Just a goofball that hates money, thinks Jesus was a mushroom, but I'm not trying to insult anybody. Please get that through your heads. Been talking about this stuff for a long time, so it gets a little frustrating at times, and that's why I'm going to do this to keep it light. And where I'll be able to finish a point as much as I can, because I can get easily distracted and go off on tangents because things are really deep, kind of like mycelium. Mycelium? That's where mushrooms come from. Mycelium? That's what feeds trees and other things in the soil. It's the internet underneath of us. Mushrooms, you say? It's one of my favorite subjects. And when, like I said in the last hour, the Monday show that I actually put out Tuesday, I told you it's weird. Note, when I talk about the Jesus mushroom thing, it's not to insult anyone at all. It's just to actually take out all the facts about mushrooms and show how they line up with a lot of the attributes to Jesus, and how that makes sense so much that you can, and then when you actually do imbibe in a psychedelic, it cements it even further. Because if it's one thing out of all the little things that I like, that I use to be cute and try to be cute and funny with explaining it, out of all of them, I usually end it with anyone tripping balls. When they are talking to you, they sound like Jesus. You can't argue with that. And you can't argue with the other ones that I'll bring up either. And I'll just continue to get deeper and deeper because I'm doing an hour at a time, and I want to hit more. I'm trying to kind of want to hit those two subjects, money and psychedelics, little chunks at a time in each hour, so I can then go on to other things. Like today, Wednesday, it's radio stories, which I do in the second half hour. At least that's the plan. If I remember to look at the clock right and see where I am in the recording. And so far, it's going all right. Listen. That's my crazy neighbor. She slams the door so hard and then does the Jack Nicholson thing from As Good as It Gets with the jiggling the handle OCD thing. I'm not making fun. I'm just letting you know how that wakes me up sometimes and makes me jump right out of my skin, right off the couch sometimes, literally. Let you in on a little secret. It's just after midnight on Wednesday. So, kind of technically I'm recording this on Tuesday, but not, but yes, but no. Whatever. Moving on. That's really loud. I've told people before, and you don't really have a thing. Well, now, any of my friends that I've told that story to, you just heard it. And my setup is on the other side of my apartment from where that sound comes from through my front window, because her door is right next to that. Was that descriptive enough, or was that too much, or was it completely useless altogether? I'm going to say all of the above. Always pick D. Always. What else am I doing? What's on the thing that I want to get going with? And what's with the stuttering? I don't know. Just how about cutting the shit? Because I'm sure a lot of people find that annoying. Fine. Where are my meds? Oh. Something exciting coming up. One of the things I've never done before. I'm trying to put together, producing a show at the Dojo of Comedy at the Sycamore Tavern, which is run by my friend Sam Tripoli and his partner Trevor Kevalo. Cool little spot. Jimmy Dore does shows there. Lots of other people do shows there. It's a cool little spot that they've had open for a bit. And I'm trying to produce my first show. And I am putting together a Slayer lineup. This motherfucker here, you know who he got? You know who he got to finish ripping off the roof? I'm going to have Mr. Jimmy Schubert. He's a bad motherfucker. Been a fan of Jimmy's since 1997, when I met him when I was part of the Ron and Ron show in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Ron and Ron show, which evolved into the Ron and Fez show, And now it's Bennington with just Ron Bennington and his daughter, Gail, which is a hellified show on Sirius XM. And Ronnie also does a separate deal called Unmasked, which is a lot of fun to listen to. He's had Doug Stanhope, my favorite. He's had Jimmy on, hilarious. The one with Jimmy Schubert that I just talked about. Fucking hilarious. Oh my God. I gotta listen to it again. It's been a few months. Anyway, I'm gonna have Sam Tripoli, who is another Slayer. Felicia Michaels said yes. Erica Rhodes said she'd like to be on the lineup. And I'm trying to get Ian Edwards and Eleanor Kerrigan. What a fucking lineup. If I can't fill that room, I will. All right, let's not go that deep right now. This is only the second podcast. But no, seriously, if anybody listening, I mean, at this point, as I'm building this, there's a lot. You've heard of some of them. In the beauty of YouTube is, and the rest of the internets is, you can search those names and you can see some of the proof of what I'm talking about. And let me see. I wasn't prepared to say all this stuff, but I like to give information. That's one of the things that this is all about. But Sam does a podcast called Tinfoil Hat and a podcast called Punch Drunk Sports. And I am also a little bit a part of his Patreon show, Conspiracies Now. I'm the announcer and sometimes join him at the end of the show. Felicia has a podcast with, is it Jessica Wellington, I believe? I know that for sure. I shouldn't be questioning that. I'm smarter than that. And you know who says? The lady down the street, 3 doors down. She's been here 7 years in this building. She said it once. Anyway, Ian Edwards has a podcast. It's about soccer. Forget the name. And, with the computer in front of me, it'd be really stupid to try to look it up, Eleanor, she has a podcast as well. Isn't that funny? That's what podcasts are really all about. Promoting other podcasts. It's actually fucking fun and cool. Seems weird to a lot of people, but to know how the comedy scene used to be, where it was so competitive and everything, but now it's so fucking supportive. It's so badass. It's so badass. And right now, as I open up the computer to look up Ian Edwards' podcast, I open up in the Comedy Store tweet with a nice little video with them welcoming back house pianist Jeff Scott. And a little video, which I'm not going to play because I'm busy looking up a fucking podcast that I didn't know I was going to be fucking looking up, fucking saying. Excuse me. That didn't come out of my butt. That was just my mouth, just to be stupid and funny. Excuse me. Soccer Comic Rant. Okay? That's Ian Edwards' podcast. You can find it on SoundCloud and other places. Either way, that's enough pimping his shit. Oh, shit. Forgot to look up Eleanor's. Ding, dang, son of a bitch. Well, I know Erica Rhodes doesn't have one. I'm pretty sure. but she should. She does so much. She's a busy girl, and a good tweeter. The Comedy Store podcast, which I was fairly certain that that's what it was, but yeah, that's Eleanor's podcast with son of a bitch. I know, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's really, I feel like a total motherfucking asshole. I know it. And I don't want to click on anything because I just want it to roll off my tongue because I know it. Rick Ingram, for fuck's sake. See? I know what I'm doing. That's why, can you tell I went to broadcasting school? Fuck yeah. All right, starting to sound like gay porn. Shush. Oh, and, this is the fun way to do things. I'm going to do just because these people are fucking funny, and I love watching them on stage because they always make me tear up from so much laughter. And I don't mean cry. I'm just constantly laughing where you just can't help but, your eyes are just watering. But sometimes, yeah, it's that hard, but it's just, you walk out and your fucking face hurts. And I need a lot of laughter, man. Can't you tell? Anyway, the name of that MILF cookies? I don't know. No, yeah, what? No, that's her. That's her special. Felicia. She funny. Damn it! What's the podcast? Liars Club, you dumbass. My other ma, we'll call her Debbie. She's asked that I don't shit on myself as much. But I try to make her understand that I have to. That way, other people don't bother. I do it for them. That's how giving I am. And I can't change. I won't change. Shut the fuck up. You see, that's the other reason why I decided to do this podcast, because if I didn't hit record, I'd be still having the same conversation. I just wouldn't be in front of my microphone. I'd be in front of my computer, mostly. Yeah, because I don't even fucking watch TV. My TV only goes on the weekends for sports. And not all the time. It's. I have a what you would call a waning interest. Fuck, that's funny. I'm losing interest in the whole thing because everything's so corporate. It's really sad that, yes, the AAF league is corporate, you could say, but it's really sad that didn't work out. I was really hoping, to watch a bunch of underdogs. I'm always for the underdog. That's something that has always been and will never change as well. So there. And I'm not sure if you can hear the helicopter. Isn't it wonderful? Sometimes it just makes you feel kind of fuzzy sometimes, because it makes me feel like I'm in the middle of the movie Terminator. The first one. Oh, speaking of which, hearing great things about Terminator Dark Fate with Linda Hamilton coming back. and where they're just basically ignoring Salvation and Terminator 3 and Genesis, and it's just going to be pickup. It's just going to be after Judgment Day. Stuff's not. It's like it didn't happen. And they showed some footage at one of the conventions, and everybody that saw it was blown away. And apparently, there's a moment I shouldn't spoil. You probably that's too much. I mean, there's a little bit of footage, but there's a little cool moment. They said that I felt like I should have expected, but it actually surprised me when they told me when they talked about it. The movie guys that I subscribe to on YouTube, and I'm trying to remember which one. I don't know if it was Collider or New Rock Stars or Emergency Awesome. I'm just a plug machine, and I get nothing for this. I should give. Jesus Christ. I'm getting ideas though. Things are clicking. I'm like, man, what? It wouldn't be hard as long as you stay entertaining, and you will as long as you stop singing, you dipshit. So where were we? All right, so I spit out everybody, the show that I'm trying to put together, I spit out everybody's info so you can kind of look and see, what I'm talking about, because I like to let you know, so you can see for yourself. That's my big thing. Whatever I talk about, when I get into the weirdest shit that you've never heard before, I've said it in the last hour, always will say it, like Randy Rhoads, the radio host, not the guitarist, but he's just, of course, they're both awesome, but actually I haven't listened to Randy in a while, but her saying, I learned it from her, don't believe a word I say, look for yourself. It's way more fun. And I don't want you or anyone to just regurgitate what I say like people do when they watch mainstream news or anything else. I want you to look for yourself, and it ain't hard. Ding, 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 couple clicks, a couple of taps of the keyboard, and you can see anything that anybody's talking about. That's one of the things that's fun about listening to a podcast. Where you're listening and they say something, you can just pause it and go, look it up. Fucking love that. Whatever. All right, I'm going to share one. Wait, was I in the middle of something? The comic, putting the show together. And did I just have a little brain twat? Kinda, but I don't think it matters. Just want to move down the list of my shit so I can get to my shit and finish this damn thing right and keep it moving. You know what Don't do that. So I'm going to share one joke. And because this is the second podcast, I don't really have an audience yet. By the time a lot of people hear this, I'll probably have said it. How many times have I used this joke on stage? 12? 12 times? 12, 15, somewhere around there. So by the time, it's kind of like, it's not, yeah. I haven't built the audience, so by the time somebody comes along and hears this, and people that will hear it, most, the chances of me seeing me live for a while, I think it'll be nothing. So ain't no big deal. I'm just throw one away. Baseball fan. Let me just get right to it. Jesus, what are you, stoned? Maybe. All right then. Baseball fan. That's one thing to for you to know about me. Red Sox fan since I'm 10. So fuck the Yankees. Always got to throw that in there. Now it doesn't really matter, the whole corporate thing, whatever. But anyway, I've been a Red Sox fan all my life, and I'm obviously, I can babble, blah, 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 so it probably doesn't surprise you that I'm a stat geek. Always have been, especially the weird ones. Like Dave Roberts has been the manager of the Dodgers now the 4th year. And not one person has asked me if we're related. That's straight up racism. It's like I have Japanese tattoos and smoke menthol cigarettes for nothing. My grandmother loves that joke. She also calls me queer for smoking menthols. But I'll take what I can get, you know? There, I gave you one of my jokes. That's for people who've never seen me. Because I doubt people that have will be listening to this podcast anytime soon. We'll see. Who knows? There could be an explosion of the Waiting Interest podcast on the internet. Holy shit, have you heard this fucking podcast? It's so fucking good. One can dream. Does he have timing? All right, so there's one joke, just to prove I'm funny. Sort of. So I got a little bit into the money thing. You hear the money. My buddy Joe Cruz, cruzvo.com, that I would ruin it talking about money, a money-based economy. I'm one that believes that it's time for us to evolve into a new system, a system without money, because we don't need it anymore. There's so many ways to prove that, and it just impedes us from progressing, and it keeps holding us back. Because of money, we're technologically behind with a lot of stuff, infrastructure-wise, 25, 30 years, just for profit, just for consumption, just to keep the system going. And that needs to stop, because that's what causes homelessness and more mental illness, and it's a class thing, and universal basic income can help help the shift into something different, so it's not as bloody and revolutionary hardcore as it is going to be if we fucking don't ASAP. Hemp needs to return. Hemp, along with a lot of other things. Cannabis, hemp, the one that you don't get high from, the one that you can make anything out of, basically, except for steel, including food, your clothes, your plastic forks, your plastic knives, your plastic plates, your plastics, biodegradable. And the list goes on, but also when you grow hemp, it replenishes the soil, and you can take it to places where there's nuclear waste, other kind of stuff, and you throw hemp down, and it will replenish and make the soil come back and get rid of the poisons. It'll absorb those poisons and the same thing out of the air. So wherever you grow hemp, you're cleaning the soil and you're cleaning the air around it, because it pulls all that stuff in and turns it into good. Not only so you can have a hempcrete home. Your plastic plates and knives and forks could be inside that hemp home, with you on your hemp clothing and your hemp table and your hemp chair. All that could be done, because also if you do hemp, it's a renewable resource. So while it's doing those other good things that I already mentioned, it's also what? What was I going to say? I had another one of those. So while it's doing that good thing of cleaning the soil and cleaning the air, it's also keeping us, because it's renewable, it keeps us from cutting down trees, because obviously paper can come from hemp. There are many famous documents that you probably heard that are on hemp paper. I have a hemp sweatshirt. It's my third. The other ones didn't. The other ones I beat them up pretty well. There's paint on them, but I've had them for a long time. But I'm on my third. It's a hoodie. I love it. But hemp, along with many other things, ooh, my throat is getting dry. I wonder why. Money goes, hemp takes place. Oh, you can also make oil from hemp, fuel. And it doesn't have spit out the poisons. Whatever. Do your homework on it. It's really fun. I believe Henry Ford built a hemp car. You can see video. Even the windows were had hemp fibers in them. And they outlawed it because the oil fields would have been in everyone's backyard. And they wouldn't have been able to control everything like they do with petroleum. Whatever. Jesse Ventura just did a book with somebody about hemp, which is pretty cool if you want to look that up. Jesse Ventura obviously has not obviously, some of you might not know, he has a show on RT. You can see it on YouTube. Their broadcast runs 24/7, if you go to one of their pages. It seems like it's always live. I don't always go over there because I watch clips. Anyway, yeah, hemp book. Pretty cool. We need more of that kind of shit. And we are into the second half hour. A little late announcing that, but you know what I'm saying? I do what I can. Jesus. Back off. It's only show number 2. We're getting this all together. All right. We're cool. Okay. Cool. All right, I'll leave that alone for a second, and I'll get back to that. And the Friday show, the Friday hour. I just want to say hour. I want to call them hours. I don't want to say show. I like them just hour. You know? Help me stick to that, would you? By the way, if you want to email me any questions, waininginterestpodcast@gmail.com. WAYNINTERESTPODCAST. Holy shit, there is a fucking rhythm to that. Isn't that right? That's some rhythm. I like it. Anyway, it with this being audio only, made that a bonus. Son of a bitch, my cup is out of water. All right, now a little bit more into Jesus was a mushroom from the last hour. I don't know where I'm picking up from, but... Oh, yeah. Picking up from... again, this is in no way trying to insult anybody who believes in Jesus in the way that it's normally taught to us. It's just a way to explain a lot of questions that we've all had since we were little kids, to explain stuff that didn't seem like it could happen unless it was in a comic book. So obviously you can see why it might connect to psychedelics already. But the last one I talked about was what? virgin birth. Spores need no seed. Oh, wait a minute. Did I already go into this a little bit earlier? Didn't I? Did I? Yeah, because I said anybody tripping balls sounds like Jesus. Son of a bitch. Did I get messed up on my list? Damn it. I wanted to be perfect. Like that's ever going to happen. So should I keep going with the Jesus was a mushroom? Because now I feel like I've gone too far. And I want to save some. Jesus Christ. No pun intended, of course. All right, let me get to this. Let me get to this for anybody that's already follows me on Twitter. Wayne Roberts 811 on Twitter, by the way. All this I should remember to put it in the description. I will, because I'll listen back to this a couple of times to dissect it and make sure I don't sound like a complete pathetic asshole, and that I just want to be a pathetic asshole. Complete is just too fucking far, and that's too high of a bar to hold myself up to. So there. Anyway, so anybody who is a Facebook friend or a Twitter follower, and I posted a little, trying to be funny, the other day about I'm throwing a huge party, and anybody who still defends the Obamas or the Clintons and and still trashes Trump and Bush and doesn't realize it yet that I didn't put yet, but doesn't still, or maybe still, I don't know, doesn't realize that they're all the same. It's all a game. They might not want to come because they're going to get roasted for being something fucktards. What was it? Something fucktards. So, shit, I better look it up, huh? Let's be thorough. Right. I'm almost there. Almost there. Poisoned Land, I believe, is the name of the book. Or, no, that's just the RT thing. American Hemp. That's the Jesse Ventura book, by the way. See? Just pimping everybody's shit. So I'm allowed to call people fucktards when I want because of the promoting that I do for all the good things for the world. I thought I told you not to sing anymore, you stupid. All right, I'll stop. Dumbest, laziest fucktards on the planet. There will be popcorn. That's how I ended the post. So to explain that, and all you guys, because I know there's a bunch of you, the real joke is not calling you that, but I'm trying to wake you up and shake you a little bit because you should see it by now. And there will be popcorn is the real funny part. At least it was supposed to be. Now, let me explain a little bit more. I used to be one of those dumb, lazy fucktards. But I woke up during the Bush years because I got so drained emotionally. Which made rough spots in my marriage at the time even more rough, and other stuff, because I let it bother me so much. And it finally dawned on me, wow, I'm wasting my hate on George Bush, which is basically what everybody's doing right now with Trump. It's the same story, but they all work for the same people. The banks, the corporations, oil, and the military-industrial complex. And that's provable, so you can't argue. And most people who say what I say with those facts, they belong in fucking jail. A lot of people think Trump belongs in jail. They all belong in jail. They're all crooks. They all work for the same people. But to manipulate us, the red and the blue thing, keep us fighting amongst each other and forget what's really happening upstairs, even though everybody seems to know that they're all puppets. we continue the fighting amongst each other, which makes us slow the progress to get away from the fucking money thing, because it's all a game anyway. When a Democrat is in office, everything's cool. Seems like everything is cool. A couple of things seem to be going our way, like extending unemployment or something, real small little things. But otherwise, Obama, let's see, we went from 2 wars, which he ran on getting out of, but he bumped us up to a few more and blew the fuck out of Libya. And Hillary laughed at Gaddafi getting a knife up his ass, and him dying. So how can anyone that uses the Hitler thing or calls anybody else a murderer, how can they defend Hillary Clinton? Because there's also a whole bunch of other things that she's involved in from doing, and we've already proved that they rigged the DNC so Bernie could lose. And remember, you're listening to an anarchist. I don't fucking vote. Because I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you why I don't fucking vote. Now, you vote for local shit, yeah, but you don't have to vote for the fucking president. It's a joke. It doesn't matter. But the way all that stuff that happened, I say Libya was a beautiful place to live. They didn't have any homeless. Very, very tiny amount, maybe a handful of homeless, just because they chose to be. A whole year or 2 of a maternity for newborn, for mothers, free college, free housing. I believe there was there was a basic income, because all the oil money was put back to the Libyan people. Like Gaddafi said, he wasn't the huge monster that that you were sold. Just like over in Venezuela, the same kind of deal. All their oil. They would tell you that Hugo Chavez was a bad guy. Well, the numbers show that he took them from unbelievable impoverishment and illiteracy and poor and just bleh, to the numbers jumped. You can look for yourself, and I'll always tell you that. I'm just telling you what I saw, but I don't want you to regurgitate. So whatever. Let's keep this funny. Let's don't get so fucking dark, motherfucker. It got kind of dark, right? Yeah, it did. Let's move on. So that's why I say dumbest, laziest fucktards. But, again, to say this, I used to be one. And I realized all the hate all of the emotional on Bush, because that's not, he's just a puppet. He's just there to make you angry. And Obama was put there to make you calm down. But whatever, with all the wars that happened, you can look it up. He had a kill list, all the drone strike numbers of the drone stuff that we already know. It's all out there for you to see. And I'm not a Trump lover. I've never liked Trump. I don't like any of them. Ever. Anyway. But if I was going to tell you if I was going to say to vote for somebody, I would suggest, of course, Bernie's got the biggest chance, but I am a supporter of Tulsi Gabbard. She's a vet, and she's still part of the reserves, I believe. And you just see how genuine she is, and she's the only one that tells the truth about the warmongering. I'm anti-war, if you haven't figured that out yet. I'm sure you have, but some people are quicker than others. Not to put anybody down, because, it's mainly me. Listen. Uh-oh. Did my neighbor call them on me? Have I been being too loud? Is it going farther away? Okay. Or maybe they just turned the corner around the big building over there. Might get closer again. Let's see. No, okay, we're safe. Where are we at? Almost 45 minutes in. Oh, we're fucking killing it, man. Dude, we're killing it. All right, next thing. While we be looking. All right, so I explained my calling those people that I know and love fucktards. I explained it. I'm moving on to Wednesday radio stories. And yeah, Wednesday radio stories. We're 45 minutes in. 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably run out of time. Son of a bitch. What can I do? Well, I'll go on tangents anyway, because that's what I do also. Yes, we should be able to make it. It shouldn't be a problem. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, I think we can do it. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And, doing what you're doing, it helps kill time. That's true. All right, Wednesday stories. How did I even get into fucking radio? I think it's funny. I think this kind of it kind of goes with the simulation thing that I believe we're in, and then it's just fucking funny. When I was younger, my dad is the best way to describe my dad, Gary Cole in Office Space. In the 80s, late 70s and early 80s, basically in my memories, my dad looked like Bill Lumbergh. Looked like him. Sometimes, did Bill Lumbergh have a mustache? No, but my dad did. Not always. Not towards the, somewhere in the 80s he got rid of it. But when I see Bill Lumbergh, when I watch Office Space, Bill Lumbergh reminds me of what my dad looks like, but not how my dad sounds. My dad sounds 3/4 of the time, or half the time, whatever. Let's go 60-40, split the difference. Oh my God, they're back. Fuck. Did they think this was going to get racial? Because it might. Whatever, let's just barrel through it. Fuck this, I'm not going to spend my fucking podcast listening to fucking sirens. It might be actually fucking coming from me, because that would be fucking psychotic. And really weird if it fucking came blasting through the door. And I'm starting to worry at this point, because that shit's getting loud. Now we're cool. Where the fuck was I? Oh, so my dad, 60% of the time, sounds like Richard Pryor. Which is fucking hilarious when you look at him and you see him. It doesn't go together, and to some people it's off-putting, but most people fucking howl. He's so funny. The Long Beach Richard Pryor concert. Which one was that? Let me look it up. Excuse me, Jesus. What's going on out there? Richard Pryor, Long Beach, live in concert. That's the one. Watching that for me now, it just reminds me of my dad. So many lines that he repeated from that, basically the same way that I did with Delirious, Eddie Murphy, Delirious, and Dice, Dice Man Cometh, Bill Hicks, that same shit. So that's my dad. So he had obviously a really good sense of humor. Has a really good sense of humor. And the radio made him laugh in the mornings. At one point, it was Howard Stern, because we lived in Northern Virginia, and Howard was on DC 101. Excuse me. And then Howard left. Maybe went to New York, maybe, I guess. This is in the 80s. And then the Grease Man took over. Some people don't like the Grease Man. There was shit that was funny, for sure. Always made my dad laugh. And so anything that made my dad laugh, of course, I was interested in, because I loved seeing my dad laugh. So I would always try to make him laugh. The biggest one was usually scaring him. If he went to the bathroom, of course, I'd hide around the corner. I wouldn't do it today, but I did that up until he was probably 45, and I went, I gotta stop this. I'm gonna kill him. But he would, and then laugh his ass off. At the end of my podcast, at the end, a little tag at the end after the music's over, that little "stop looking at me, man." That's me doing my dad as a funny. Stop looking at me, man. That's what that's there for. To remind you, kind of like when somebody, like a TV show, and the producers put the "sit, Ubu, sit, good dog," or whatever. I made this. You know what I'm saying? A little producer credit at the end kind of thing, yeah, whatever. So anyway, my dad was also a bowler, and I ended up getting into bowling and wanted to be like him and, and just, take it the next step. But while I was concentrating on that, he wanted me to go to school for something. And I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And after him goading me a bunch, like, what do you, figure this out. I want to know by this time. I want to know by this, blah, blah, blah. At this point, I had gotten into a morning show in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, called The Ron and Ron Show. Ron Bennington and Ron Diaz and Fez Watley and Fast Eddie and blah, blah, blah. I've talked about it on the last hour. And maybe this hour as well, and I just have forgotten. Yeah, Jimmy. When I mentioned Jimmy, I mentioned Ronnie Unmasked, blah, blah. See, I know what I'm doing. And I know the clock is ticking because I keep this tight at an hour. They made me laugh, and I heard the first broadcast on Zeta, 94.9 Zeta. At the time, it was classic rock. And I was expecting the morning DJ to come on named Kimba. And it was a music-intensive show. But all of a sudden, there's this, now coming to you live from the Ron and Ron Network studios in Tampa, Florida. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And they debuted as they were launching a whole network. Fell in love with the show. I was a painter. I turned the crew on to the show. They were huge in Florida. They did live gigs that sold out and caused controversy. If you look in Ron and Ron, it was fantastic. It was a wild ride. So anyway, in the middle of this, my dad wanted me to do something, and I can't figure it out. I just want to be a bowler because I'm a douche. I already said that, right? Yes. Okay. So in the middle of this, it gets to the point, the clock is ticking, and he's like, I want to know. And I just blurt out, radio, just to shut him up. And he goes, oh, okay. So what are you going to do about it? I'm going to make some calls. All right. And he left it at that, and I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, that went smooth. But now I got to make a call. I called Zeta, the on-air line, to talk to the jock, expecting to talk to Steve Stansel, who did 2 to 6 in the afternoon. Kimba, at this point, was now on from 6 to 10 at night, right after Steve. Well, I call, and it's Kimba and not Steve, because Steve's on vacation. I go, I need to know how to get into radio. Really, because she's super cool. And have an actual conversation with her. She can see I'm not a nut, and she points me in the direction of the school. You should go where I went. It's cheap. You get on-air experience with the local NPR station. Down there in Miami, it was WLRN. God, my mouth is so dry. 5 more minutes. Anyway. This is great for if you're trying to go to sleep, because my voice, I know, tends to make people drowsy. It's not just what's coming out of it. I could just be humming and put people to sleep. Should I start humming? Anyway, she points me to that school. I go there for a bunch and get my first job on a talk radio station, which I talked about last hour. Phil Hendry, Neil Rogers, Rick and I'll go into Rick and Suds at another point where I got some more time because there's a lot there. That's fun. Some huge laughs. Wow. Anyway, so there I am. Now I have a radio job. It's all working out. I'm friends with Kimba. I hang out with her. Still am. And she's still in Florida, still a jock down there. One of the, all these years, she's the queen of South Florida radio to me. At least for the last 25 years, for sure. 20 years, whatever. I'm not doing any fucking math right now because I'm trying to finish this up because the clock's fucking ticking. Anyway, a couple of years into being at WIOD, I get called into the program director's office thinking I might be getting fired for some reason because the place was weird in some ways. People make some serious mistakes and fuck-ups and get promoted. And I really hadn't fucked up. Maybe that's a little bit of a fib, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, I think I might be getting fired. And next thing you know, he's asking me if I want to fly to Tampa to audition to be the new producer for the Ron and Ron show. And then they're going to be moving to Fort Lauderdale in a few months. I'm like, say what? That's the reason I got into radio, along with all the other stuff earlier from my dad being into that. Didn't get the gig, but when they did move to Fort Lauderdale, they brought me in as part of the show anyway. And Ronnie nicknamed me Batman. Started as Bruce Wayne for the first show, for like the first hour, and then he switched it somewhere around there. That was pretty cool. And to tie it all in, they met my dad. And it was at a Florida Marlins game. And it was at a game we all went to, the whole crew, and I brought my dad. And they were giving away teal and white Cat in the Hat type hats. It was tall cat, but it wasn't red and white. It was teal and white. And my dad just, he was buzzed. And he was having a ball, hanging out with Fezzi and Ronnie. And there was nothing but laughs going on. And lots of beer. Lots of beer. So my dad got the nickname Cat in the Hat. And he loved it. See? The moral of the story is radio used to be fun. So, getting back to it, I said, kind of like simulation, all that radio stuff. I didn't think I was going to end up getting into radio. And then boom, Waka Waka Chang, which progressed into doing voice work. My first voiceover job, freelance. Got it the day my daughter was born. Is that fucking cool or what, man? Say? That's a true factoid. I don't really have any way to prove it, but it's fucking true. I swear. So there. What do we got coming up next? Friday. So, Patreon page. Patreon.com/waning interest. That's it. There's because I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep this going, and then I'm going to also grow it from 3 to doing other things. Yeah, and I don't want to have to get a real job because I'm not really good at it, and there's a lot of people out there that can vouch for me. I know I'm not the only one. I know you guys are too, a lot of you, because I know who's listening, and that's why I fucking love you. And I don't want anybody giving me money that can't afford it, don't need it. So, also, I just got to say, because we went long, we're supposed to have Doug Stanhope as a guest, but I rambled a little too much, so maybe next time. Thanks, Gary. I love you all. Stop looking at me, man.